Yes, it interrupted the stream. Okay, bam. All right, so the main thing is to make sure that your well, actually, there is no main thing. We kind of thought this all out. So the main thing that we need to do right now, first of all, if anybody's jumping on the line right now, FYI, we're testing the system just as I mentioned the other day. And so what we're going to do now, Wendy, is I need you to basically, me and Isaac are going to have a brief conversation, and then I just need you to determine and tell me what you hear. Like I'm already hearing notification sounds and that kind of thing. So I just need to like make sure that a lot of this stuff is muted and some of this stuff is off before we get started. So I guess my first question is, can you actually hear us? And then Isaac, if you can start saying something, you can yodel or whatever, then I can determine if everything's working okay on that end. And then we can go ahead and
Got
get
it.
started with the next part. Okay, so yeah, I guess, all my conversations have purpose. So now when I'm trying to think, hey, what can we talk about just to cover some airspace? I don't know. So I just need you to say a
I
few
got
things and
something.
okay,
Yeah.
that's
No,
what's
I
up.
got something.
Okay.
What we were sharing before we were on air earlier, uh, and I've been going through some of the Keymakers episodes from the first season, and it made me think of the root languages that you talk about. Um, so, is there anything on that?
Actually, there's been quite a bit. I mean, at this point, we've now cracked open to the original language, and it's going to be so just massive for us to begin to bring that information to everyone because it's funny because the original language, in this case, it gets us really close to Tamil. And when you hear the language, like anybody who's familiar with even languages like Sanskrit, etc., it kind of like you're hearing it and you're like, man, how could they speak that language if you're not native to that tongue? But if you're a fan of etymology, when you go back into these languages and you understand the meaning because they're ancient tongues, you now get a chance to see all the words put in the proper place because they actually still contain the exact definition of those words. So it'll be dope to be bringing that information and showing everybody exactly what that means. And also for those just tuning in right now, please understand that we're just testing the stream. We're about to go live on Saturday, as I mentioned, and we're going to have to do real live tests to make sure everything is working properly as we're going through this. Today, what we're basically testing out is just sound and bandwidth to make sure that me and my co-hosts are coming through loud and clear and that's working. And I also have my great friend Wendy also helping me in making sure that sound is not coming back in a reverb way. So if you're on the other end, I can actually see you chatting already, and I can see that everyone here is saying that they're hearing us loud and clear and that they're getting no reverb. I do need you to confirm that on my co-host end, so he'll say a couple things right now, and I just need you to confirm that you do at least hear him and you're not getting a lot of reverb or weird sounds, etc.
Awesome. Well, I'm Isaac Williams. I'm the co-host for the Keymakers series coming on Saturday, and just filling space with sounds right now, wholeness and balanced vibrations. Very excited about what we're bringing forward to you. Keep going.
Okay, give me 1 second. You said, Wendy, you said that you're hearing some reverb?
I was hearing things in dual time, but I'm not sure if it's because you were speaking. Let me listen. He sounds good.
Okay, okay. Well, let's keep monitoring it. And yeah, if you're hearing dual because you shouldn't, you should basically hear, yeah, you shouldn't hear really anything. So,
Is it better? I closed the window. There was probably some ambient noise coming through. Is that better, Wendy?
okay. Yeah, she said, well, I guess she's going to say that's good. I think everybody's giving a thumbs up and they can hear everything really good. So what we're going to do from here, everyone, is we're just going to let it breathe for a minute because, if it works for 10 minutes, that's nothing like if it's going to work for 2 hours. So in the meantime, we can, let's see, was there some more stuff that we were supposed to be testing out live? Let me see. We got a chat going on. I can see that. We got the stream happening here. If anybody can hit the subscribe button, that's the easy way to get. If somebody could test out your subscribe button, if you're not a subscriber, if you can hit that button, let us know that it's working. No, I'm just joking. So I'll just test the subscriber here. those sound effects will be changed. It still bears the marks of its original creator. Obviously, it'll have something much more symbiotic than those electronic noises. But if you can hear those noises, let me know, because I need to understand if that is the proper area for me to begin to adjust those notification sounds. So did anybody hear that sound that sounded a little electronic, and it would have come on right when you seen this notification?
I think it was just the delay of YouTube.
Okay. Okay, looks like somebody hit the subscribe button too, a real person. So the last thing that I'm trying to check here again is, can you hear like some weird animated sounds when you get that notification coming across? Okay, I get a little thing that I can show. I can show a subscriber. That's dope. Okay, so somebody says they heard it. Beautiful. So we're going to change that out because it is a little annoying. Now let's see kind of the chat, because let me go back into the big screen, because I'm kind of like on this small little screen. Okay, so it kind of looks like the chat is just kind of off to the side, and I guess that's just because the comments are very short. So maybe we can move that to the center a little bit. And man, this thing gonna be lit. Like, shoot, that got me wanting to go now. I can't. Like, there's so much stuff that still needs to be done before Saturday. We're going to work with this sound just a little bit, just to make sure that it's polished off and clean as much as possible. See if we can get a really strong feed in. But other than that, it looks like that everything is tuned in properly, and we know how to jump on the stream right away. I guess you just pop in the ingest code and it'll just get us directly to where we need to go. So we got Eddie over there talking about no sound. Eddie, you got to fix your sound, man. Everybody else done already confirmed their sound works good. So that's what's up for today. Like, I would love to stay, but I do have more to work on with this, and we have a lot of things that we still need to customize in order to bring it. And let me see if this transition works right. And so we're gonna do that. Okay, there my transition's gone. Actually, let me test this real quick and see why my transition dipped like that. Just give me a quick second. Water transition. Hey, when you see that screen change over there, Wendy, you don't see like water wash over the screen and then it come back to the next screen?
No, not yet.
Okay, and I didn't see it, but you saw like some switching happening, right? Like you see that switch, but no water?
Yeah.
Exactly. Let me see what's up with that. Give me 1 second. Seems like this settings. Frame 30, transition frame rate. Time in milliseconds. Water transition on a crossfade. Okay, 1 second, everyone. We're going to check out that chat again and see what's up with that transition. There it is a little bit. So at least it is just a setting issue, and hopefully it'll be tightened down before we start. So everything looks good. Like, just to that everything is functioning, and now what we can do is we can go right into the heavy duty tough work. But everything is actually working. The sound's good. It's breathing. CPU is at 26%. Let me watch the CPU real quick, because okay, then it's dropping to 24, so it's about 25% on the CPU. And already this is a lot going on. There's a thing right in the background. We got 2 images bought in, and we still got some headroom, I think, with the CPU. It looks like it's crying a little bit over there. So let me see what happens if I disconnect it from the chat, or not the chat, but from the YouTube version. See if that brings the CPU down. It's down to 23. It's back up to 25. So it doesn't seem like it impacts it that much. Let me shut down some of these windows. This will be the final test. I'm just going to test the CPU, see how I can get it down to like the 20s. Here's some cryptocurrency talk. I'm going to take my Bitcoin miner and turn it into a streaming machine, for those who are wondering what I'm doing with it. I need that GPU power. Okay, so it looks like that the GPU is still just, kind of dancing back and forth between, it's even up to 37%. Give me a minute. It's back to 27. So I don't think that is going to peak out. Like, let me just take a minute. I can't guess. There's no reason to guess. In the meantime, anybody got a question? Any question? We're going to let this breathe just a little bit to see how it's going to work. Our stream is very long sometimes. We actually have a different design, so we're going to keep it at moderate times because we have stuff that we want to do with the content, and we don't want it to be 6 hours long. But I do want to watch the CPU, and I want to see what happens if this gets hotter than it is right now. And so if somebody has any questions, you can type question and then your question. So that way I don't have to try to go through the chat box and see who's typing questions. And then also, if you do have a question, you can make sure that you can actually put a question mark behind it. So that way it is a question. So somebody said, do they know how to get a notification about being live or when we go live? All you have to do is subscribe and then hit that notification button, and you'll get the notifications from there. Also, if you're a member of Secret Energy, you would have got a notification also in the mail and some other stuff just letting you know that we're about to go live with this. What's up, Jay? The beauty of this also, of me being able to see the chat and having the interaction, is just going to take everything to the next stage anyway. I even got sound effects and stuff. So it's just being able to bring in footage, pictures, and everything really fast. It's gonna be beautiful. So there's a question here. And that question is this a continuation to the previous Keymaker series? Absolutely, except for there's an S on the end. I already got one Keymaker in the house right now. That's my brother Isaac. He's been really assisting me with, man, we're doing a lot. So basically we do these interviews and we talk about some really riveting stuff. And that's really where some of those new posts on Secret Energy are coming from. And he takes those posts apart. He's also an English major and major in a few different things in linguistics. So, just that in his ability to dissect history really well, he comes out with some really strong, polished stuff. So our collaboration is just amazing from that level. So you will definitely see a lot more text related content. And then in addition to that, we'll also be sharing like an ongoing saga somewhat of the total revelation of what's going on here, which I won't get into right now. But I am happy to say at this point, and it has changed everything, even about what has been going on with me for the last 72 hours, I was able to get some really, really in-depth information about not only where we come from, how we all connect to each other, who messed up all the knowledge, real names, how they did it, and how you can fix it, and what is already available for you right now when you do that. So right now, illusory reality, because of the linguistic system that you're using and the belief systems that you have that are not complete, and then the perfection of what comes after that when you just, put all your pieces right in the right place, and then see your puzzle again as a complete picture, and then how everybody else connects into that mosaic. So it's just going to be a big homecoming for all of us. So still letting it breathe. I see the CPU's at 33.9, dropping at 25. So it's kind of doing the same thing. Let's just make sure it keeps doing that. So we're going to give it 5 more minutes. As I asked, if you do have a question, please put question before your question, like the word question, then make sure whatever you ask that you can actually end it with a question mark, because that would mean it was a question. Somebody saying, what is Saturday's event about? Saturday is about us unfolding just what this mainframe can do. As you see, we're gearing it up now. This is not everything that we're going to include. And there's actually some stuff that's kind of off Facebook or off site, as far as, off YouTube. So YouTube only has a certain amount of capabilities. There's other things that we're going to be bolting on into these lessons to make sure that there's some retention, a greater level of retention. And we're going to ask others to pitch in to actually create a greater level of retention. But I'm not going to talk about how that is going to be set up. I'm going to be talking about that on Saturday. So you'll see these new features, which I just call metaphysical augmentations, that will not only make the show much more animated and entertaining, but it'll also give us the proper throughput necessary to be able to conduct a conversation about these kind of topics and really see that you get some connection. So, Wendy, did you say something was happening over there? Did we lose something? Okay, give me 1 second, everyone. I'm just going to make sure and see what Wendy is saying on our end. Also, if anybody wants to just kind of chime in periodically, everything's good on my end, or I think it's bogging down, somebody's frozen, any of that, we just need to know because we can make all the right adjustments. We just need to know what the problems are. I'm not sure if you said something or not, Wendy. I thought I heard you for a quick moment, but I'm going to just keep going.
Nope, sounds good.
Okay, great. All right. I got some anxiety for a moment. They're like, no, tell me it's not working. I have to go back to the beginning again. Okay, so we got about 3 more minutes. Let's see what else is going on here. See if anyone took the advice of putting question before the question. Somebody's asking, can they get their name synchronized during the show? You know, there'll be stuff like that. We'll have a list of things that we would really like to entertain. This is what me and Isaac will be putting together between now and Sunday. That will be also something that we'll address is what we really will be capable of getting to during the show and how we're going to open up the platform for others to get specific kind of information, because obviously we don't want to spend all of the show or big chunks of the show only talking about or doing things that only benefit small groups of people. We want to do stuff that really causes a great impact. So rather than syncing one person's name, or we may sync one person's name, but we may show all the connections to those letters or those words or whatever, so others can likewise do that same thing. I do hear some noise. Okay, I see. That's Wendy's line. Okay, I was just making sure that that's coming from not some place that I'm familiar with. Okay. All right, so that's good. Somebody said, what is our purpose? Yeah, that's a long one. You won't be getting that in 3 minutes. But just to sum it up for you, if I did have just a few seconds to talk about it, what we're introducing is a system that we call eniology that actually not only dials you right into your purpose. I mean, it's a little at first like kind of like you're taken aback. Like, can really all the information really about how I function be written already? Absolutely, because we are seeds growing into the full blown, and the full blown has already been mapped out. So there's processes that you're going through that we're capable of identifying with simple integers like your birthday. And then from there, we can show you your path. We can show you how to master that path. And most importantly, we can give you access to all the other paths, the logical one to move to next. And then this not only in real time allows you to work with yourself and connect with others that are on that same path, it also allows you to become a master of communication. So you will have the information on all the paths, and a person that is just a connoisseur of life would learn that information and ingest it. It's not so much that it can't be gotten through. And then they would become the masters of communication because they would really know how to talk to people and what you can and cannot say to different types of people because of how they communicate and how they take in information. So in relation to purpose, that's what we'd be doing to give you more of insight into, you know, your own uniqueness. Kind of skipping around with the questions here. So now I'm seeing also what we'll be dealing with in relation to questions. And obviously, Isaac, we're going to have a system of being able to really keep on top of this. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to answer everything at one show, so maybe we have like a spill-off area and we condense those questions into like the overall question that's being asked or stuff that we want to address. So it looks like we'll have a lot of content to keep going with every time just from questions alone. Somebody asked about the beard. Am I growing it out? You know, to be honest, you know, I have like sometimes a love-hate relationship with the beard, but I'm starting to love it more than hate it these days. And it's only because, one, it's a bit more easier for me to maintain, believe it or not. I don't have to shave like every day or every other day. But the most important thing is, you know how somebody says, hey, they have a strong chin or take it on the chin? I started realizing even in my workouts that it seems like the longer that my beard grows in this area, the stronger I get. I don't know if there's any kind of correlations between that. I've seen, well, actually I do know. In certain traditions, they cover this area, and yeah, predominantly this area and this area, because they say as for a male that they're most exposed in these areas from suggestions from, let's say, the frequencies that broadcast all the time. So when you have something covering these areas, supposedly you're not as easy to be interfaced with. Now, again, these are just facts or opinions, I would say, or footnotes about different areas. But I personally, I just feel stronger with the beard, and it's a different look, right? So it's normally I kind of come in super clean, and I guess maybe we get tired of looking at that all the time. So let's see. All right, so somebody asked, what is this even for? So it looks like we're good. So we're at 26%, 35% CPU, bouncing back and forth, and that looks like where we're going to pretty much be. So wholeness and balance vibrations, everyone. This was a test, as we talked about. We're just testing because we're going live on Saturday. For those wanting to know what this is, why is it even popping up in your feed? It's because we really get to this high level of esoteric knowledge and this metaphysical augmentation, and most importantly, mindfulness, which is a total different paradigm to what you're actually seeing going on in the reality right now, which you already know can't go on forever. We're about Sovereignty 2020. This means by 2020, we have a movement and a mission happening where we are going to be sovereign. And we're working on that very aggressively. And not only have we already achieved that spiritually by detaching ourselves from any kind of vampiric forces and entities that seek to have us serve them, but we're now doing that physically by finding all of the productivity tools and the connections and the uniqueness that we can share with each other to create a better life for each other. Because truly the greatest value in real original game or tribe theory is the value of the participation. So this is designed to get you to participate. Sunday, we're going to be talking about every way of how you can do that. I'm going to be bringing my co-host Isaac. We're going to be bringing more people on the show. We're going to be talking about everything that you love and some things that you may be a little on the fence about still and just need more insight on, so you can understand that how it connects to you. All is self. Talk to you soon. Much love to everybody, and we'll be seeing everyone soon in a minute. What I'm going to do for just a moment is I'm going to just record the end of this stream so I can see how that ends up panning out. But it looks like actually it was recording that whole time. We actually have 308 viewers. They acting like it's Saturday night. It's Wednesday hump day. So if we don't get 300 viewers on Saturday, then we are definitely moving to Wednesday. And but much love to everybody, also that have just participated in this. Thank you so much. Thank you for showing the support. Like if I jumped on the stream and it was only one person, I don't know, I would still go at it, but it wouldn't feel the same as having everyone here. So thank you so much for even just tuning in, leaving your messages and showing that love. So that way when we come online on Saturday, we know what to expect. Talk to you soon.